Hey guys, it's Will with Dojo Kyle, and we're just continuing on with our little web show um, where we're doing some interviews, asking some of the guys who have been training with us, or some of the parents, even some of our youth students, I think, to just get on this Instagram. Oh, there he is, and there's Albert joining us right now, and just telling us a little bit about their training journey and what got them inspired to get started, what keeps them going, and yeah, just any recommendations or advice they'd have for someone new starting off. So I'm gonna give Albert just a sec to. I think he has to send me an invite and then or ask to join the call, and then I'm going to approve him. I don't know. We're like I said in this last one, we're not tech people. Or actually, Albert is more of a tech guy, so I think he'll be able to get it ironed out. Oh, there it is. Sent a request for the live video. And oh, there he is. Or there's the wall. Hey, all right, Albert.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on here. It's good to have you. And I guess just to give you a little, or give everyone an introduction to you, man, you've been training for, I was thinking about it on the way home today. It's like, what, almost 9 years now?
Yeah, I think 2011.
2011. I remember you and Bernice were some of the first students who got started with us over at the warehouse. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's been like, I think August or October, August, no, August, September, October, November of 2011. Yeah. So that's a
yeah,
long time going. And Albert was, in jiu-jitsu, the belt rankings, you start to get into your advanced rankings at purple belt. Albert's got a purple belt that looks like it's just ready to disintegrate into dust. He's been rocking it so long, and he was up for his brown belt promotion, but he couldn't make the day or whatever. So and then we hit COVID. So yeah,
yeah.
he's one of our advanced guys, and yeah, I'm really happy to have you on here. And can you tell us a little bit about like what inspired you to get started, and uh, what made you think of jiu-jitsu?
I guess when I first started, I was I was really impressed and interested in the martial arts aspect of self-defense, and I gotta say it was Hoist Gracie and just his initial, I guess, competitions in the beginnings of UFC, and the whole idea of a smaller, skinnier type of guy. And I think he's taller than me actually. I don't know his exact height, but I sort of like identified with that type of frame. Like I'm 5'10". When I started back then, I weighed 155, I think. Right now I'm like 165. I got the sort of like the good metabolism, I guess good genes.
Yeah,
So I'm sort of like on the smaller end, I guess. And so, like I guess a combative element, what the technique that he used against huge, bigger guys was really impressive. And I thought, okay, if I'm just again in some type of scenario, I want to have that technique on my side because, it seemed cool to see a smaller guy use technique to defend himself and win against bigger guys. So that was
sure.
what impressed me. So the defense, I guess my initial, and this has sort of changed. Like if you ask me, like what my aspects have changed since then, there's other things to add to that. But initially it was because of that, because of self defense and
Because
martial
of the
arts.
self-defense. Yeah, and that's a and Hoist Gracie, I think, man, he's inspired a lot of people to get going just because what he did in those early UFCs was so incredible. And uh, and you're absolutely right. I was talking with someone just the other day about watching. I think it was UFC two where Hoist was competing against Dan Severn, and he
Yeah,
was he was able to submit him off of his back. But before he submitted him, all the commentators were like, "Hoist is in trouble. He's got to get off his back." And they said, "Oh, Dan Severn's tapping out." No one even knew what was going on. No one even knew that you could be on your back, but still, able to not only stay in the fight, but win from there. So yeah, it's really incredible what he did. And one of the things you said was that was your initial kind of thinking, but it's changed. So what has changed about it, and what kind of keeps you going now?
So I guess what has changed? Like I guess my first interest was what I mentioned, but what has changed since then that I never thought would be benefits of jujitsu. I guess first of all would be like fitness and health type of aspects. And I guess I'm 45 right now, so as I grow older, I guess that comes into the mind of all people as they grow older. But I never thought of like taking care of what I eat, or maybe I should take care of what and do some exercising so I can live longer and be more strong and healthier as I get into my older years. Um, so that's something that's really benefited, and then I've seen a lot of improvements is being able to work out and do something in jiu-jitsu and in class, just with the reps of drilling, and then with rolling and grappling with people.
Yeah, the
It's
conditioning
something that
aspect, no
I
joke, right?
appreciate. Yeah, so that's one thing. And then the other thing that I never thought of initially was like the sense of community and having friends and knowing people like yourself and Coach Ryan and Josh and all the other guys that have become like really good friends. And that I'm glad to see whenever see all the guys whenever I go over. So it's a community type of thing, and not just like I travel a lot for work, so I see a community and a welcoming also when like I visit other gyms when I travel like to New York City or Florida, wherever I go. Sometimes I'll go and I'll visit a gym, and it's a lot of it's that same community, that same welcoming, that we're all in the same type of family, jujitsu family.
Right. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, exactly. I guess I don't know if brotherhood's the right word, because yeah, there's a lot of women involved, including Bernice, your
Yeah.
wife. Um, and but yeah, that sense of community is a part that I don't think anyone really understands when they're in on their first day or on their first month. But after the years, it's almost like, man, I want to keep training because I want to go see my buddies and go hang out and go have some fun, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so I wanted to another question for you. Like, if you were, because you have done a good amount of traveling for work and just in general, and when you do go, you seem to always, or on a good amount of time, find a place to train. And where has been your favorite place to go train uh, when you were out of town?
Um, so I've places I've gone often have been New York City and the Bay Area, like San Jose. I've been to Kansas City, but I think New York City at Henzo Gracie's was probably the like my favorite, I believe.
Man,
Um,
yeah, I got to go train there as well. I think I agree. That was an awesome experience.
yeah, because I think, well, I met him, and his personality is just really attractive. Just the way he's really welcoming, really funny. Just hearing him talk is just like you have a smile on your face and you're laughing. But he didn't teach any of the classes. There's some other guys that taught the classes I went to, but it was just like a bunch of guys, and everyone was cool, and they sort of like they sort of pushed me more than I was used to, more than that. Like after the classes, I think I felt like totally dead after classes before, but I think you know, and I even sort of like wimped out on some of the because I think they do like 5 minute rounds afterwards, and it's not like, oh, you can, it's optional. They
Right.
push you like quit 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 leaning against the wall, get in there and find a partner and roll and stuff. And
Wow.
I wimped out like once because like after like two or three rounds, I was like, oh, I mean, I got to take a break here. And
Wow.
then I finished the last one, or however many it was, but it was enjoyable. There were some good guys over there.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was there, I went to that. Me and Jordan went to like I want to say it was like a 6 a.m. class, or maybe it's 7 a.m. But man, we were up bright and early for it, and it was a really, yeah, unique and and awesome experience that I think uh, is one of the fun parts of training. When you go, you get to kind of meet some like-minded people in a place or a city you've never been, and yeah, it just makes the trip a little more enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say now with what almost, I guess, coming up on 9 years under your belt of training? If you could like go back in time and talk to Albert on his first 6 months or first 6 months, what kind of advice would you give to that early student who's just getting started out and who maybe hasn't fully made that mental commitment that hey, this is something they're going to be doing for the long term, but they're enjoying it for now, Or yeah, what would you say?
I guess one of the main things is that this is something that I've told people that, like friends I have that want to start training jujitsu, but they haven't, they sort of hesitant, is sometimes it feels awkward. I remember I don't remember exactly my first class or my first few classes. I got bad memory at my age, but I think a lot of people are sort of hesitant in like grappling like other guys that you don't know maybe, or because you're pretty much wrestling. You're like hugging each other, and you're
Yeah.
it's like you're wrestling and stuff. So it's sort of like awkward. Like I'm getting this close to to someone else, and it's sort of weird. I don't know who he is, and then especially if it's someone that's like really advanced and they totally like submit you and they go full force on you. And I think my advice would be to understand that jujitsu is a martial art and it's like you're wrestling, and the end point is submitting you. So just because you get submitted, the humility that I think is required is pretty great, because someone is submitting to the point where they could potentially harm you, your body, choke you out. Um, but that's helping you learn, and they're learning in the process, and it's all like a brotherhood. It's you tap out and then you're cool and you start over again.
Right.
What I like, especially how Josh, when he rolls, and quite often, but he always, like, after he taps me out, he always like pats me and like make sure, like he does like a pat type of thing to, okay, you're good, like to sort of like, I don't know if it's like comforting me, or like, yeah, good job or whatever. But that's
Right.
sort of like the feeling that I think everyone who gets tapped out, you shouldn't worry about getting or like tapping out, or like, oh, I'm no good or anything. But it's just something that happens, and you learn from it, and you just grow. And it's you get tapped out a lot at the beginning, and that's cool. Towards the end, you
Part
might
of the
tap
pro-
out a bunch of people.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm gonna grab my charger real quick. My phone's starting to fade. Oh, and there's Olive making noise. Um, so yeah, and with the tapping out, I mean, I guess one of the things that we got to keep in mind is that hey, it can be done in a way where uh, that's one of the big benefits of the training is that you can do it safely to where yeah, you tap
Yeah.
out, but you didn't get hurt. Nothing bad happened to you. You just get back in and keep going, and it's really part of the learning process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like you shouldn't feel sad or bad about tapping out, and even to like lower belts. Like there's some in my age, like there's younger guys who like when you talk about advice, like what would I would give advice? I initially thought of like, okay, you need to like really put in an effort, really concentrate. It depends on who you are, like what you want to be. If you want to be like a competition type of guy, or if you want to just get in shape, whatever your goals are, those are good. And my goals were, they weren't necessarily competition, but it was getting in shape and still doing good and being um, a good practitioner in
Sure.
jujitsu. But yeah, not feeling shamed about or bad about tapping out, but always thinking, okay, I tapped out because I didn't do this, or I made this mistake, and being humble to try to fix it and remediate it.
Right. And I feel like even at black belt now, it's like, well, I still get tapped out, I still get beat. And I think that's almost like a sense that you have people around you pushing you and challenging you to get better. You're not just um, you know, toughest guy in the room, and I don't know. That's yeah. You want to feel like everyone around you is getting better too, right? And if they're getting better, sometimes they're going to be catching you, and sometimes you'll be catching them.
Yeah. And that goes into like one other thing that I was going to mention about the things that I loved or that I've learned about the benefits of jujitsu after, being in it for a while is like the mental health part of it. Uh, I don't know about other people, but like for me, going to jujitsu and working out, I guess, could be part of it. A healthy workout every week or twice or three times a week is good. But for me, training jujitsu helps me mentally to be happy, I guess, to have joy. It's I remember and like I started doing mountain biking
Yeah.
and I broke my clavicle, so I was out of jujitsu for like 6 months, and I wouldn't say depressed, but I was sad. Like I was sort of frustrated. I was angry for getting that injury and missing out on jujitsu, and I haven't well, I have rode a bike, but very rarely, and I don't want to ride a bike because I don't want that to happen again because I don't want to miss jujitsu. So like my priority is okay, I can't be doing no risky things where I'm gonna get injured because I haven't really got injured doing jujitsu. But mountain biking, I did get injured. I broke a bone and right here,
Yeah, it's
and I was
funny,
out of
right?
jiu-jitsu. So I can't be doing that no more because that wasn't mentally good for me to miss jiu-jitsu for that long.
Man, I'm with you. I think we've had a lot of members kind of reach out to me over quarantine and be like, "Man, I missed it," you know. So, and I think it's for that same reason. It's the stress relief, and that's like I guess, a fringe benefit of the training that maybe you would never consider on your first day, but yeah, it's there for sure. And on the
Yeah,
injury side, I was thinking Sam actually just he said, "Oh man, I'm out because I broke my foot playing basketball." And I thought, man, how crazy
mm,
that, he's been healthy and doing good all through his jiu-jitsu time, but then it's that recreational game of basketball where he picks up the injury, right?
yeah, yeah. It's weird
Yeah,
because
but
in jiu-jitsu, you think, well, I mean, you tap out. You're supposed to tap out properly, and everyone's respectful of the opponent's tapping out, or even if the opponent doesn't tap out, everyone in the gym's pretty knowledgeable on, not taking it too far.
sure.
So it seems jujitsu, even though you might think it's dangerous, it's really not compared to, in my opinion, not compared to like mountain biking or even basketball. Like basketball,
Yeah,
I've injured
right.
my wrist, falling down playing basketball, so it's sort of a dangerous sport as well.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think if a student can keep that ego in check, they're gonna be able to stay, yeah, healthy for the most part through their training. I think you can develop some muscular imbalances and stuff, and that's where some of the strength and flexibility training makes a lot of sense. But yeah, for the most part, if you just have that healthy ego and say, you got me, all right, let's start over, let's run it back. Or one thing I like to see students do is when they say, wow, how did you do that? I'll see them asking someone, wow, how'd you do that? That was really cool. Because then it's kind of saying, they're accepting, all right, that got me, but I want to learn how to I want to learn how to do that. And that's why you're there, right? You're there to be improving and upgrading. So asking those questions can go a long way.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess before I hop off of here, do you have any closing thoughts or any words of wisdom or anything you pass along to anyone who's thinking about getting started?
Thinking about getting started. I just say, like, I have a couple of friends, two friends actually, who, for I think it's been like months or maybe even a year, that they said, okay, I'm going to start. They've been looking at gyms where they live, but they haven't done it yet. Um, and I just say, you just gotta um, find the gym that you think are enjoyable, that are good to be around, and then just go for it and start. And sometimes you have to overcome some anxiety, some social anxiety. It's like your first day of school. but it's not your first day of school where you can sit alone in your desk and sort of like, you know, hope somebody comes and talks to you. It's the first day of school where you're going to have to be close to somebody and train with some partner doing your drills. And then, you know, after a while, even like get up and close with somebody, which is even more of, can even bring on more social anxiety or more nervousness or that hurdle. And sometimes it's hard, but you just gotta, you know, understand. I think having someone to talk to as well, to help you through that is really good. But that I think is the biggest obstacle, and you just have to like overcome and understand
Right.
that everyone is friendly and everyone is there to help you.
Right. And yeah, and that's a great point. Everyone's there to help you. And it's like if we just it's like we're part of, I guess, improving ourselves is, yeah, helping those other people around us get better. So it doesn't make any sense to just beat up on the new guy and then not see him or her, or, you know, not continue on. It's like you want them to become that person who's going to be able to challenge you and help make you better. And yeah, and I think one of the things I try to always remind anyone new is like, hey, everybody's had a first day, right? Everybody's been exactly where you are. So we remember, even though for you it's been, yeah, almost that 9 years. And well, I guess you said old age is getting that fish oil for your memory, or you know, you don't remember that first day, but you know, you remember being that early student, right? And you remember how it felt, and
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
yeah,
That makes me think that like I guess I try to like every time I see a new student, I don't do as good a job as I should, I think, but I think it'd be a good idea for me to reach out to that person and say, hey, or you know, it's good to see you here. What's your name? And sort of, you know, make an introduction, get to know them a little bit, so that they feel not so like an outsider. They feel more welcome and comfortable. Because I imagine, yeah, there's some anxiety the first day, and you don't know anyone, and you're doing combat type of grappling stuff, and but yeah, maybe I think I might do that as like a goal for myself, is to reach out to people that are new that I see in the gym.
that'd be awesome. That I'm sure that'd be much. You know, of course, we would appreciate it at the school, just helping making those new people feel welcome, and I know they would appreciate kind of feeling like, yeah, just getting the right vibe, right? Like it's a friendly group. But yeah, so that'd be a great goal. And yeah, thanks so much for hopping on here with me tonight, and
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, telling us about some of your journey and dropping some of that advice. That's good stuff. And it's great to see you back in person. I'm so glad that we're able to start, you know, even though it's limited, start getting back into some training, and like you're saying, being back, feeling like that community's, you know, kind of reconnecting.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great class today. It was
Awesome.
good to be back.
Yeah. All right. Well, uh, good seeing you in person today. Good seeing you on Instagram. Thanks for being here. And thanks for everyone who's, I guess, watching live. There's a few people watching live. And thank you to you guys who will be watching it, you know, from our page, from our Instagram page. So, um, yeah, everybody have great nights. Albert, thanks again. Thanks so much.
Yep.
And catch up with you
Thank
soon. All
you.
right.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Bye.